All right, right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Type a two in the chat if you can hear me. Type a two in the chat if you can hear me. Please type the number two in the chat if you can hear me. Type a two in the chat if you can hear me. All right, thank you so very much. There's my music. Come on in, everybody. Pull up a chair. I see those twos in the chat, and I appreciate y'all. We were working through a couple of tech issues. Now, tonight, the couch is going to probably get a little bit crowded. So, if you can't fit on the couch, we do have pallets on the floor. We have folding chairs, and this time we dragged some bunk beds in here for our sleepyheads who just can't stay up late. So, please make yourself comfortable. Grab yourself a cold drink from the kitchen and some snacks. It's tax season, so y'all already know we bought the good ones. And if you're new here tonight, welcome to the family. You are officially an honorary cousin. So hey, 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 cuz. Now, before we get started, drop in the chatments where you drove in from to get here and tell us how you're doing tonight on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being I'm not amused, as my mama used to say, and 10 being I like it, as my co-host and cousin Tina Mo for show would say. I want to see who all up in here before we start tonight's family meeting. And cuz you can turn that lovely tune off. Oh, I see we got somebody in here from Washington, D.C. Snacks on deck. Where else y'all coming in from? And how y'all feeling? We got a 6. Brit Family Fun. Check it in at 6 again. Let us know how you're doing. 1 to 10. 1 being I am not amused. 10 being I like it. And how rude of me. I'm all up in y'all's business. I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Goze. I'm the oldest grandchild and granddaughter. I'm a niece. I'm a big sister. I'm a cousin, of course, an auntie, and I move through this world highly protected and deeply connected. I technically live in Chicago, but I'm currently living the digital nomad life. So right now I am in Southern Illinois. I'm also known as the Black Love Permissionist. I'm an interpersonal and interpersonal relationship consultant and advocate, a certified feminine empowerment and life coach, a trauma educator, a cultural conversationalist, and a multi-dimensional creatress. If you ask me, I'm an all-around dope ass individual. I'm also one half of the 2 cousins who host this show. As per usual, my other half, my much older cousin Tina Mo for show, will be joining me on the couch. So if y'all smell that, she was frying some catfish up in the kitchen to go with these Gouda grits. Tina, come on out here and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Well, as always, my name is Tina Mo for show. This here YouTube page. So glad to be here tonight, representing on my side of the tree limb as the firstborn of the grandchildren, the oldest child. I am an aunt. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I'm a granddaughter. I moved through this life protected by the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, and with that, I can say that by trade I am an inspector, um, but I also by vocation happen to be um, uh, um, one that likes to share as it pertains to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Not only that. I also am an individual who just loves to be honest, open, transparent, and try my best to just be me in this space tonight. Um, and so that's who I am, by and large. Glad to be here too.
Me
Look at
too.
you.
Me
Look at you.
too.
To my much older cousin.
Much, much older. Very elder cousin.
So tickled.
I think we gotta say hello. We got okay. The cousins are going up. Let's see who all we got up in here.
I just want to acknowledge we have Miss G, your favorite auntie, is in the building. Greetings and salutations. We're so glad that you were able to come in and hang out with us tonight. We know that you won't be here long because this is late night for you, but we
Mm.
still want to recognize you as an honorary cousin, and so glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight.
What up, cuz?
Rodney in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us. Greetings and salutations. I got to get it together, y'all. Greetings and salutations. So glad you decided to hang out with us. As always, we appreciate your presence and we want to recognize you as one of our honorary cousins. Make
That's
yourself
right.
at
That's
home,
right.
sir. Grit Family Fun, uh, who I affectionately call Lady Yo, who we all know as Yolanda. So glad that you decided to hang out with us. I don't know how you were able to sneak away from Bible study tonight to be here so early. But so glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. We don't take your presence for granted, and we want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins.
Yo, hey, cuz.
Elevated Chills is in the building. And of
Hmm.
course, as always, I roll out the red carpet for my neck bone. Ha ha, in these YouTube streets. So glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. Uh, Greetings and salutations. And we just want to honor you and acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins in this space tonight.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Mr. Elevated Chills. Oh,
Ernest Johnson Jr.
yes,
is
my
in the
own
building.
hubby.
Uh huh.
That's mine.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, mm-hmm.
That's my main.
Mm-hmm.
A man.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Has entered into the building tonight. We're so glad that you decided to hang out with us. And we most certainly want to greet you, greetings and salutations, and want to acknowledge you and recognize you as one of our honorary cousins. Actually, that's not honorary in your case. Want to
Right.
acknowledge our cousin. Hello. But
Right.
we're so glad that you made it in tonight as well. Susan, Susanna, I don't know why I keep want to call this lady Susan. Susanna, so glad that you decided to hang out with us. I always notice whenever you come in, you speak, you are so gracious. Thank you for deciding to hang out with us tonight. I know that you have your own lives that you do. You're very busy on your page, but I just wanted to make sure that let you know how much we appreciate your presence. Um, and we wanted to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins tonight. Thank you for deciding to hang out with
Yes.
us.
Hey,
Mhm.
cuz.
Okay, so we got
We
a.
got
Uh
we hit them
oh.
all up.
Now I must roll out the red carpet once again.
Once
Uh,
again.
Once again. I had to put on my sanctified voice. Once again. I had to pull
On
out.
today.
Uh-huh. On today, on tonight, we have my pastor has made it into the space. She was doing a Bible study. Y'all should check that out too over there on Just Danielle 365. So glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. We want to acknowledge you as well as one of our honorary cousins, and greetings and salutations. Thank you for deciding to hang out with us tonight.
Yes, 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 yes. We're so happy to have you all here. So, officially, welcome to Two Cousins, One Couch, episode 8.
Ooh,
I know we're getting close to that number 10. And tonight's topic is bloodline versus backbone. When family identity meets personal integrity.
I
Okay.
know we over here breathing.
Now, of course, Tina and I come from a yapping ass family. Y'all know this. If we can't do nothing else, we can bump these gums, honey.
Yes,
My
indeed.
God. But tonight, we are going to do something a little bit different.
Yes,
Our
it is.
couch may feel a little bit more like a love seat tonight because for the first time, you know how Tina's been rolling out that red carpet? We pulling out the fuzzy blankets. We
Uh-huh, the
pulling out the
fuzzy one.
good china,
A
right?
good chunk.
We're not eating them grits on no paper plate tonight.
No paper plates tonight.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because we are inviting y'all in an open panel discussion where your voice and perspective are part of our collective experience. It's a family meeting and we want to hear your voices. So, cousins, Tina will post the StreamYard link in the chat. And when you are ready to pull up a seat, we're going to bring you up to talk with us. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, I think it's time for some gratitude and church announcements.
Yeah. Wow.
So, Tina, what you grateful for today?
Ooh. Well, I'm in the space where I'm learning new things. I'm taking on new challenges. Um, I am learning how to do some things in the AI space. I
Hmm.
was completely opposed to it. I'm like, nope, they won't steal my brain and my thoughts. I won't do it. Nope. I'm going to turn into a crash dummy if I use any AI. I want to remember these phone numbers by heart. It went from that to, let me check out and see what's really going on. And I found myself today kind of going down a rabbit hole, if you will, as it pertains to AI, and have found, um, oh, that's me. I done threw my own self off. Ain't that about nothing? I forgot I changed my my profile pic today. I'm looking like, who is that? Oh, that's me. Oh, okay. Um, which is part of what I'm talking about now.
Hmm.
I was doing the AI, and what I ended up doing is, I started off thinking about, okay, I got some things that are coming up um, in the future that I want to be prepared for better. I want to get a head start on. I had some ideas, but I hadn't taken the time to sit down and really brainstorm on what I wanted to do. So I'm playing with Chat GPT, and I'm just, doing all of the things. And I decided, hey, why don't I do a thumbnail? So I did a thumbnail by myself today, and uploaded some things and was able to get some things done. And when I was all said and done, I had the okay to be able to use the items that I used. And so today I can say that I'm grateful um, for the ability to expand in a way that I had not
Oh.
experienced before, to get my hands on something that is completely out of my norm, because Lord knows I
Hmm.
cannot draw a straight line, nor can I make a perfect circle. And with that being the case, I can't draw nothing, not even an eyebrow. That's why I grow my own. But with that being said, um, it's the thing where I know that in this expansion, it's taking me somewhere. I'm uncomfortable with the way I'm going because of course it's new to me. And I said it earlier today talking to my cousin. I said I don't particularly like change. And when it comes to new stuff, you got to give me a minute for me to get going. So, it's been around for a while, but I'm just now getting to the place where I'm feeling more and more comfortable um, with my understanding on how to use it, and I'm expanding in that with that thing in particular.
Well, that's definitely something to be grateful for,
Oh yeah.
especially if you're a person that doesn't like change.
Oh yes, indeed. No, I don't like change. I like the same old 7 6. I prefer to eat the same food relatively every day. You know,
Bye.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm very, very simple when it comes to that. You know, but with that being said, I think, well, I'm not going to go into where that stems from, but it is a thing like I like to know what I'm expecting, ahead
Yeah.
of time. If I know what I'm dealing with, I'm prone to deal with that and that alone, and I'm very loyal by default. Um, with that being said, though, I also had some challenges today, which will take me into my church
Mm,
announcements.
go for it.
Um, in my uh, 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 in using Chat GPT, a lot of times you don't know what will trigger you. You're
Hmm.
doing all the things, you're having fun, and everything seems to be just fun, and then all of a sudden I started going because I'm using pictures, and if those of you all who see my name in the chatments, you'll see my name, but you'll also see a cartoon character. That's what I made today, and so I'll be using that, and probably some of y'all see some more later on, um, as I continue to progress in that particular vein, for now at least. And so I'm going down the line, and then all of a sudden, I'm doing other things. I'm seeing other people's pictures, and I'm like, I wonder what this look like, and I'm exchanging things with my mother and one of my sisters, and I think my other sister too. Now that I think about it, and I'm just passing little stuff around, and then at some point, I got to a place where I uploaded my nephew's picture of who passed this past January, and I was trying to avoid it. I felt it,
Mm,
but I was trying to avoid it because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready to even try to engage in that. And in my efforts I'm like, okay, what would this look like? Can I handle it? And so I
hmm.
uploaded a picture, and when the emoji came back, I started crying.
Mm,
And I wept like
mm,
the kind of grief that I think I had been kind of underneath the surface of what I've been experiencing here recently. Because I haven't had a couple of tough times dealing with things here and there, but it was like there has been this undercurrent of sadness that I've been kind of dismissive about, but not really paying a whole lot of attention to, because a lot of times you just got to be able to keep going, because I didn't want to focus too much on that because it'll have me at a standstill. And so with
hmm.
me doing that, it brought all of the emotions to the forefront. And I went from having one tear to go down my eyes to my entire body weeping in
Hmm.
tears. And that was right before Bible study. So I got to pull myself together. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoo, that was rough. But if it's one thing that I can say is that when it came to me coming to that place where I was like, okay, I'm finna do a hard thing. I could
Mm,
say it's both gratitude and church announcements, in that
hmm.
I learned how to navigate a hard space. So I'm thankful for that. It's just the fact that the space was hard. And in that, I'm like, okay, it was a hard space, but I was able to get through it. I was able to face it. I was able to deal with it. And out of it, I got some really cool stuff. I
Mm,
wasn't ready to share it yet because I don't know where my folks are. I was like, had to check their temperature because I've been to sit them. So I'm like, oh no, you're supposed to give me a trigger warning. I was at work.
yeah.
I don't need all that. So, it's one of those things where I'm like, they know what I'm doing. So if they decide to ask me, hey, have you done such and such? I'm like, yeah, would you like to see them? Then I can offer it to them that way. But until then, I just have something that I can say is a keepsake for myself.
Mm. Thanks for sharing that with us, cuz.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh,
Whew.
let me pause for a moment and acknowledge Krishna has come in here. Krishna Creation, we see you. I appreciate your presence and hanging out with us tonight. Most certainly want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins. And greetings and
Hmm.
salutations. Again, we appreciate your presence tonight.
We do. Hello, cousin. All right. Well, let's see. Clearly, it is allergy season
Mm-hmm.
because I too have been weepy as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And let us know in the chat, checking in with our honorary cousins. Anybody else been crying? I mean, crying lately? Because I know I have. I
Mm-hmm.
was my church announcements actually um, have to do with me catching up with my brother over the weekend. And we talked 2 days in a row, so
Mm-hmm.
for over 3 hours. And, we don't often get to catch up like that. And last time I talked to him was at his wedding. And so we were catching up. He was telling me all the news since his wedding. And he has some great news, which I will announce to you all. I have a new nephew on the way. So he and his wife are pregnant. Um,
Congratulations.
and so then that's when the waterworks started for me. And I was weeping. And then we talked about his wedding, and I wept some more. And then somehow we ended up in them deep, murky waters of family trauma. And then I wept the hardest. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was really, and I'll end it on a lighter note. My church announcements where we were able to, you know, we were able to process what came up in the conversation, and I'm so proud of him. He's such a dope individual. He was able to express, the sadness that came about for him in that conversation. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, you're the only person that can make me cry, right? I'm like, I wasn't trying to
Mm-hmm.
make you cry. um, I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, you don't have to be sorry. And we were able to really work through that together. So those are
Oh,
my church announcements, and my heart is warm around that. Um, Gratitude. Were you going to say something? Cuz my bad.
no, that just warms my heart that you were able to end on a lighter note with him.
Mm,
You know, because sometimes
yeah.
you could discuss things and it leaves you in a low and
Oh,
it'll leave you dragging sometimes and you don't know where to go from there, you know.
you are not lying. Oh, hold on. We got to stop before I get into the next one because we got my homegirl from Chicago. She was a member of my restorative justice cohort. And she is a content creator, a producer. She has a podcast called the Truth Podcast Show. Miss Kasira Potts, welcome, welcome. As my cousin would say, greetings and salutations. You are our honorary cousin, and we're so happy to have you here. Uh,
Absolutely.
so, my gratitude is it's actually very simple. I am grateful for Black women. Today
Mm.
is International Women's Day, and we are
Mm.
in Women's History Month. And I have just been reflecting a lot on the beauty of being a Black woman in today's world, and I absolutely love it. So that's what I got. Cousins, let us know, what are y'all grateful for on this day? And if you have some church announcements that you need to get off your chest, I cannot promise you, as Dr. Shaniqua would say, I can't promise you that this is a safe space, but I can promise you that this is a brave space.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're getting ready to get into this discussion. Again, we are doing something quite different tonight. As y'all see, Tina has posted the link. Oop, and Anthony's Too Real is helping us out. Thank you so much. Um, she's posted the StreamYard link. If you want to join us and pull up a seat and actually talk to us and have your voice heard, click that link. We will bring you up to the stage with us to share in this conversation. This is an open panel tonight, so this won't be the way we normally do it. Oh,
Wow. Um, okay. First I want to acknowledge you. First, appreciate you coming out tonight, and hanging out with us. Never been asked for advice on this matter. But what I can say is I appreciate your presence. Want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins. I think your name is JCiana. Um, Greetings and salutations. You've almost stumped me, but let me read this out loud. Tina Moore, I missed a big time with Rodney, 1472, and I've heard him speak highly of you when he spoke of his YouTube journey. Any advice on how to get him to give me a conversation to apologize and explain? One thing I can say is I cannot speak for Rodney. However, what I can say is sometimes it takes time. We may want to, uh, you know, we don't like the fact that we burn bridges, and we sometimes want to go back and patch things up as quickly as possible so we can move forward. But in some instances, we have to respect the fact that that person is not ready to entertain our conversation yet. So what I can tell you is, if you've made an effort, and you've been um, sincere in your efforts, all I could tell you is if he's seen it, then he'll consider it. If it's something that he's not willing to do, all I can tell you is hopefully you'll be able to find peace within yourself. I don't know what your faith is. Maybe you'll be able to pray about it, and come to some conclusion, um, and be at peace with the fact that you tried to reach out and you tried to make amends. But other than that, all I could tell you is at this point, I don't know how long this situation has lasted, but all we can do sometimes is wait. And sometimes a conversation is not necessary. Sometimes we just allow people to be who they are, and move how they want to move in this life. And that may mean that it's the end of that fellowship, the end of you and he having the kind of relationship you all may have had before whatever that incident that may have occurred. I just would encourage you not to beat yourself up. If you know that you have made the best effort that you possibly can to make amends, be okay with that. And that's all I can do as far as that is concerned. And said, thank you. I'm giving him space because he won't argue and scream. And I appreciate that from him. Yes, yes, he's most certainly a very mature individual. And so if he's decided that he didn't want to speak on the matter, or he's let it go, or he didn't want to address it, I mean, again, he's very mature. And so he's not one to scream or, or do things of that nature. But like I said, sometimes you just have to give a person their space and allow and respect the fact that they're not coming at you, or they're not being argumentative, or they're not trying to make a big issue out of whatever may have happened with you and he. God has already forgiven you. Mm. It's something to take into consideration. Because there's anything you want to say? You're on mute. I don't know if you know. Were you still with us, cuz? Okay, there you
I
go.
am. Child, I was just a talking and I heard you say you're on mute.
Oh,
I
okay.
was saying, and I'm talking about you, the older cousin.
Mhm.
I appreciate you for asking such a vulnerable question. Uh, and I feel like it was timely. We had just got through talking about it being a brave space. And I know it takes a lot of bravery to be vulnerable about those sorts of things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And because I don't have anything else to add. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I am ready.
Okay. So I got a question for y'all. You know what I mean? So hopefully everybody's gotten comfortable. You sitting on the couch, you on one of them bunk beds, pallets, snacked up, whatever it is that you need. Uh,
You're so
Oh,
welcome. You are so
yes,
welcome.
yes. Yes, we appreciate you too. What is one belief or rule that you learned in your family that shaped who you are today? What is one belief or rule that you learned in your family that shaped who you are today? Tina, you want to
I do not like this answer, and it's coming
go? Oh, it's
behind
coming
a
out.
whirlwind. Yes, it's coming.
Let's go.
I learned how everyone is not able to handle, to receive, to listen to make space for your trauma, your trouble, your situations, and your circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
And I see
made
some of
me
our
who,
cousins.
oh,
Sorry, cuz.
yes. No, go ahead.
No, because you in the zone.
Um, it's one of those things that I consider because I am who I am today because I saw the lack of an outlet, because I saw the lack of the type of relationships that I wanted from people. And growing up, how I grew up, where there was a lot, everything was taboo. Even though there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on, everything was taboo. And so there was a lot of things people did, but they had who they want to speak to. They had who they desired to share things with. And if you didn't fit into that category of people, there wasn't much shared with you. And so I had to learn a lot of things on my own. I had to learn a lot of things sometimes from peers, and I had to reach out for older individuals in other families and other settings, people that I learned knew from church and things of that nature. It just pushed me to outsource um, my help and
Mm-hmm.
to be willing to um, reach beyond the break to keep going. Not only that, it also helped to shape me as it pertains to, because I saw that lack, because I saw how people didn't have anyone to talk to because of what I experienced. It opened my ear to listen. It opened my
Mm-hmm.
ear to pay attention. It allowed me a vantage point to see pain where others would walk away, where others would
Mm-hmm.
ignore, and it shaped me in a way where I'm like, I go after, not just sit back and notice that something is wrong, but I go after them. Hey, what's going on? Um,
Mm-hmm.
you look a certain way, or I hear something in your voice. What's going on? Talk to me. I don't know what I can do, but I can be an ear, if nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. I've benefited from that. So you ain't telling no lies. Uh, Real quick, before we start reading what our cousins are posting in the chatments, and I'm loving what I'm reading. Tina,
Hmm.
I just got a text from
Hmm.
our cousin Alicia.
Oh,
She
my
is
lamb chops.
she's listening to us right now. She does not know how to say hi,
What? That's
but
okay,
she is
but
but she is here. So we definitely got to
wow.
roll out the red carpet for our blood.
Yes. She has no idea, which this will probably be her first time here. No, ain't no probably. I know this will be the first time she's hearing this. I can say that she is one of my favorite cousins.
Hmm.
Top
Hmm.
tier. She's one of those with a quiet strength, who
Mm.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, she's someone that I looked up to when I was younger. Um, at which her mother was my grandmother's sister, and so the
Hmm.
relationship that those two had, I was like, that's so cool to me. Um,
Hmm.
and to watch her and how she moved. In a lot of ways, I wanted to be like her, you know. And there was so much about her in her support of family and her willingness
Mm-hmm.
to show up in spaces that other people weren't showing up in. I watched her do so much for her mother and being in so many different places as a support system. Um, I appreciated that, the fact that she went the extra mile, even if you didn't see her with a cape on, even if you didn't hear
Yep.
her on the corner shouting to everybody, "Hey, I'm doing such and such," but her quiet presence was strength to me. And whenever I would be around her, I would always get a laugh. I would always share a smile. And of course, she's a hoot to hang around. And so it's
Yep.
I've always appreciated who she is as a cousin,
Yeah.
most certainly.
Yes, 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 Alicia. I hope you are listening to the truth being spoken about you. Uh, and like Tina said, so to her, Alicia's mother was was Tina's grandmother's sister. Alicia's mother is my grandfather's sister.
Mhm. Right.
And funny story, right? Because we're all from this very, very tiny little town in Mississippi.
Mhm.
And my grandfather lived across the street from his sister. And my big mama, my grandfather's wife, her brother married my
Mhm.
grandfather's sister. Very
Mhm.
small town things. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
you could be at my grandparents' house and get a pound cake or some sweets or whatever, and then you could walk across the street
Mhm.
and go over to Alicia's house where our Aunt Shirley lived and our Uncle Henry lived, and play some cards, have a
Mhm.
little sip, talk a little
Mhm.
shit. And it was like two completely different houses.
Yeah, yeah, and you had to know how to conduct yourself in both spaces too.
Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay, okay. So we took a little family break, but let's get back to these Chapmans. I see we have okay. Tina, did you want to pin?
I wanted to acknowledge Ashley M, who is coming to the hang out with us tonight. I'm not familiar with you, but what I can say is I appreciate your presence. Just want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins. And thank you
Hmm.
for hanging out with us tonight. Greetings and salutations. She said, "My grandpa, RIP, taught me that I have nothing to prove, nothing to hide, and put my faith in God." His words really changed me.
Hmm.
Uh oh.
We got some more up if we scroll back. Oh, okay.
Danielle said, "Unfortunately, I learned that you can catch more bees with honey, which sounds good until you figure out that you are allergic to bees. In other words, people pleasing behavior that leads to depletion."
Nope.
Wow.
That was felt. I know all about that one.
Wait, I must roll out the red carpet again.
Again.
Again. Um, yep. Y'all, my mother is in the Chatmans. The one of whom I've come out of her womb has graced this stage. I know it's a lot of family. It's a lot of family in here tonight.
It's a real family
Joyce
reunion.
Woods. Hello, everyone, especially my cousin Alicia. Glad she's listening. I'm grateful for my 94-year-old mother who is sick, but she is still here.
I know
Absolutely.
that's right.
Yep.
Hello, hello, cousin. Hello, hello.
Oh,
Oh,
and let me formally oh, you know what? I'm so used to my just saying, "Hey, ma," until I have to remember that I'm on a show, and I want to formally
okay.
thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight, ma, and appreciate your presence. Greetings and salutations, and we want to honor you as our, because you're not an honorary, as our cousin.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
my honorary
Your
and your
mama.
cousin. Yeah, that's my whole mama, but
Your mama, my actual cousin, and
your
y'all
actual
honorary
cousin.
cousin.
Exactly.
um,
Oh, now I'm sweating. Jesus. Mm,
okay. I want to scroll back a little bit, Tina,
okay.
because uh, JCiana was saying, don't expect the you out of other people, to answer the question of
Mm.
something you learn from your family. I
Oh,
think that's
yeah.
important.
Don't expect
Hmm.
a you out of other people. Yes, I see that.
Yep. And then Kasira said, keeping God in my life and heart.
Hmm.
So these are all things that, beliefs or rules that our families taught us. My mom would say all the time, if it don't feel right, it ain't right. Oops, it went the
They
nice
wanted the
version. Now they
nice
get the
version.
truth.
Now they get the truth.
Okay, that makes sense to me. My mother would always say, if it don't feel right, it ain't right. And that's something
Hmm.
that I carried with me through life. Okay, I got another question. And again, Tina, you want to put that link in there?
Uh-huh. We already have somebody in the back chat right now waiting to come on.
Oh, who it is?
She been there about 20 minutes right now.
Oh, patience. Come on in. Who coming over here with us?
Coming to the stage.
I'm sitting up
uh
straight.
Uh, Coming to the stage, we have one of our own. Of course, I've done quite a bit of YouTube content with her. What I can say is she is what Anthony's calls one piece of the three pack, the three prayer pack. I got to get it together. Um, Along with Just Danielle 365, we have the deaconess in our presence, which is Yolanda Britt, also known as Britt Family Fun.
Hello.
Yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
Hello.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. Nervous.
You a little
Nervous?
nervous? Well,
Don't
first
be
of
nervous.
all,
You done seen us before.
I know, but I
but
ain't never been on no panel with you and cousin.
exactly, exactly. Welcome. Tina sometimes forgets her manners. So,
Oh, you right.
Tina,
Go
can
on
you fix her a fish and grits plate so she
ahead.
can get
Are you allergic to grits?
comfortable?
Because I can keep mine to myself, you know.
I am definitely not.
Stingy.
Can't be stand.
All right. So I have a question for you, Miss Britt Family Fun.
Yes.
Are there parts of your family culture that you are proud to carry forward? Are there parts of your family culture that you are proud to carry forward? What are we
Mm.
happy to take on the road, right? And we got to start here, right? Because we finna get into some backbone. So we want to know, like, what's coming through the bloodline that we actually like.
Spending time with my family, with my kids, and making memories.
Mm. Would you say that that's a pretty big part of your family culture? Do you all gather together a lot? Do you all spend a lot
Well,
of time?
we
Hmm.
used to, but that has stopped. Um, so I just do it with my nuclear family, meaning
Hmm.
myself, my kids, things like that. As far as, growing up, there was a thing where we always gathered on Sunday for dinner, whether it was at my mom's house or my godparents' house or things like that, or even holidays at grandma's and things like that.
Mm.
But those things have way dialed down. I think the last time I was with my family was probably July last year, which had been a long time. Because I think my twin aunties had a birthday, so they invited as
Mm.
many of the family. And that was the last time that I was with, like around my family in that capacity. Outside of that, as far as that side of my family, haven't really uh gathered in that manner. So I try to,
Mm.
do as much as I can with. with my kids.
Yeah. You know what? You bring up a good point too. And y'all let us know in the chat if y'all can relate to what Miss Britt Family Fun was saying. I don't think a lot of families come together as much as they used to,
No,
right?
they don't.
What right? I mean, I know Tina and I, we, we had to meet at a funeral
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah,
because it's been
funerals
a
and
minute
weddings
since.
are when most families see
Yeah.
each other these days. Funerals and
Mhm.
weddings,
Yep.
and
Yep.
maybe an occasional birth in the family, maybe.
Mhm. 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 Tina, what? How would you answer that question? What's one belief? I mean, sorry. Are there any parts of your family culture that you are proud to carry forward? What?
It's the
What?
independence factor.
Mm,
The independence factor of, okay, if one won't, another will. If I can't get it here, I can get it elsewhere. Not to be afraid of going outside of my norm to get something done. There are more ways to skin a cat, as they say, you know. Um,
mhm.
it's things of that nature that I was able to learn quite early on that forced me to learn as much as I could possibly learn, to have formulate my own opinion, to go
Mhm.
after, to define my own religious beliefs. Um,
Mm,
because if it's one thing that I could say as it pertains to my family specifically, a lot of them went to church, but we had people that went to different churches. We had some Baptists, we had some Methodists, we had Church of God in Christ, we got some Apostolics, and then I got Jehovah's Witnesses. And so we had a branch. We had so many people that were branching off in different areas, and then now we got Church of Christ and things of that nature, where um, it's really a thing of you need to find your own path, because it's not a guarantee that you're going to agree with everyone all the time. So you need to figure out for yourself. And if it's one thing that I can say specifically, my mother taught me very
mm,
early in life. I may have been maybe 2 or 3 years old, maybe about 3 or 4 years old. I know I was young enough to still be sleeping in the bed with my mother and my younger sister. And I was
mhm.
in the bed, and every time it got nighttime, I have all these questions to fill my mind. Why this? Why this? Why this? How come this, that, and the other? I would ask all these questions. And then one day, which I found out later on why she said this. One day I asked her a question. She said, I don't know, ask God. And I was like, huh? And so the most that I knew about God was, now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep, you know. And so it went from that and we would pray, of course, after we get through with that, bless my mama, bless my daddy, bless the folks that's down the street, or whatever, you know. But it went from
Mhm.
that to, oh, now I got to get to know this person, this individual, or whoever this is that I've been talking to all this time, in a way that they can answer me back. And I didn't know how to process that at such an early age, but it planted a seed in me that made me want to go after him.
Mm, mm. Okay. Okay. We getting into it. Uh oh. We got another cousin.
Shayla, simply Shayla is in the building. We appreciate your presence. We're glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. We want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins, and greetings and salutations. Thanks for deciding to hang out with us tonight.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, like I said, when it comes to who I've become, as far as what I believe, how I move throughout life, that foundation came from my family.
Mhm. I get that. I was thinking about what part of my family culture would I say I'm proud to carry forward. I think we have we kind of have I'm trying to figure out how to word it, an assertiveness to us in our
Hmm.
family.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
We have an assertiveness.
Hmm.
We have a way of entering a room like we own it, right?
Yeah.
And we might not have but a nickel in our pocket,
Hmm.
right? But we
And letting
still
the
gonna
other.
we gonna still walk up in that room like we own the place.
Hmm.
And I am proud to carry that forward. Um, okay. Oh, Daniel say yes, Lord, going after him.
Hmm.
Oh, she could tell. You could tell. That's so funny. Um,
That's fun. And I don't know if she could tell that because of you or she could tell that because of me, because we it is two cousins on this stage.
and it might be because of both of us. That's why she could tell. She like, these two have an interesting way of being.
Oh, Shayla says she's been
Oh,
loving this series. Oh,
we
appreciate that.
appreciate. We really do. We really
Hmm.
do. Said it's you both for sure. Okay, I got another question. Also, do we have any other cousins waiting to pull up a seat?
I don't know, but let me make sure I let the people know that
Yes. This is an open panel
this is an
tonight.
open
Open
panel.
couch. It's an open couch.
We still got some more room on the couch if you want to come up.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
Most certainly appreciate you all.
hmm So I got another question.
Hmm.
Because now you know what I'm saying. We we are honoring where we come from, but we
Yes.
also know that where we're going might
Mm.
be a little bit different
It's gonna be a
from
little
whence we
bumpy.
came. So,
Hmm.
when did you first realize that your personal values were different from what your family expected? I'm going to ask it again. When did you first realize that your personal values were different from what your family expected?
Wow. That is a loaded question if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
When did I recognize that? Um, it wasn't that long ago actually. It's been within the past decade, I'll say that.
Mm.
Um, when I had to oh God.
Take time,
See, I
cuz.
gotta say it with my chest, say it with my chest. Huh? Um,
My God.
I know, right? I had to learn how to say no.
Mm.
And that may have been, what was this, 2026, maybe about 8 years ago or longer. Somewhere between 8 and 10 years ago, most certainly. I had to learn how to say no. And that wasn't valued. Um, because my family believes if you can, you should.
Mm.
It's the thing of, well, what's the harm in it? And it's like, the harm in it is something that you may not understand at this moment. And it may not
Mm-hmm.
even be something that I can articulate right now, but it still needs to be a no.
Yep.
And I had to learn how to stand 10 toes down in that no, regardless to what was going to come against me. And I ended up going through a lot because of that, you know.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. People don't always like that. No.
No, I don't like the no. Don't like the no.
Mm-mm.
You
People
know,
don't
I
always like
said
that
no
one.
one time. That's the thing about that. I said no at a time that I was too young to say no. And I like to got the skin beat off of me. And I'm sure that there might be a little comment coming in the comment section in a minute.
Uh-oh.
But I was younger and I was at the store and I asked my mama to get me some chips. I still remember what I asked for. I asked for some chips. She told me no, but she was writing a check. And at that time, she had taught me how to count. I knew how to count before I ever went to school. And so I was like, okay, I knew that, when you write a check, that means you have some money. So I'm like, there's no way in the world that she is over there writing a check and she don't know that she got 25 cents. She's not spending everything she has in this store at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my logic at whatever age I was at the time. And I'll never forget. She told me no. I got an attitude. I folded my little arms. I folded my arms twice in my life. Neither one of them times worked out very well. Um, but when I folded my arms, that was my stance of no, And I'll never forget, we got into the line at the store, and my mother told me to hold her coat. Yeah, that's how I know I'm about to get the beating. A whooping might show up in the comment section
Oh.
from remembering this. But but I told her no. And she grabbed my body and pressed the coat into my body and said, "You better hold this in here embarrassing me." And because I had an attitude, because I was like, you didn't want to give me what I wanted, and I didn't want to give you what you wanted. And so
Mm.
that's what ended up happening. And so yeah, that was my first indication that every no necessarily is not a good no. And so it put a fear on the inside of me to say no. And I ended up eventually becoming a
Hmm.
people pleaser because of that.
Whew. Okay. First of all, anybody else in here found that your family culture pressured you to lean into people pleasing?
Hmm.
Anyone else had a people pleasing spirit on them because of
Hmm.
family
Absolutely.
culture? I know I
Absolutely.
did.
Hmm.
Absolutely. For me, yeah, it was always because it's family. Kind of like some of what Miss Tina was saying. You can't tell them no, and you gotta do, whatever is asked. So it made me fear rejection a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it followed
Mm-hmm.
me into, presently. You know what I'm saying? If I say no, they're going to be mad. They're not going to talk
Mm-hmm.
to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lose a friendship or whatever. I mean, it followed me in church. It followed me outside of church. It followed me even at home with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, and even now, I'm like, uh, somebody tried to give me something. It was an inappropriate gift. I was scared to just say no.
Mm.
When I said no, it was like, what? What you mean no? I came off vacation and spent this money to do something for you.
Mm.
And I was like, just because you felt like to do that, you didn't even ask me what I liked. You just assumed
Mm-hmm.
you're going to take this gift. And no matter how you feel about it, you should accept it because I didn't have to spend my money on you. And it was really a wrestle for me.
Mm.
I
Mm.
cried. I, called trusted friends to talk to. And they were like, that's no friend. If they're going to go to that length to try to browbeat you or manipulate you, into accepting something without even asking you if that's something that you like. And I've wrestled
Right.
with it. And when I was finally
Mm-hmm.
able to say no, it was like a weight. Even being invited to a family function after hearing a family member say, I don't F with you anyway.
Mm.
So if you come, check your attitude, which I've never gone with an attitude, even though I know family members that specifically told me I don't F with you. But I want you
Mm.
here to make this person feel good.
Mm.
And when I took the time to say, you know what, I'm not going to that. I'm not explaining to them why I'm not going to be there. I'm going to send my dish that the person requested for me to fix for them, but I'm not going and I'm not giving explanation. To me, it felt like somebody had washed me down with peppermint patty because it was liberating for me. I said
Mm.
no, I didn't explain. Um,
Mm.
Even my own children were like, "Oh my God, this wrong. You need to come. I don't want to hear you if your mama leave this earth, crying and all that." I mean, when I say they gave me every bit of manipulation they could give me to 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 give in and to show up, I stood my ground. I didn't. I was home by myself. I finished my Thanksgiving dinner home while everybody else went, and I was fine. I felt good because I said no, and for once, I didn't explain the reason why I said it.
Now that's that power right there. And something you said a little while ago really stuck out to me, right? The whole don't bring the attitude right to the function.
Right.
There is something about especially in our families where you say the word no and automatically you are seen as somebody with an attitude. You are seen as this no is almost like slapping somebody. It's
Yes.
like what you mean? And look, and I was a little spoiled brat. I didn't grow up being told no a whole lot. So I mean, I am one of those people who I had to learn how to receive no as I got older. Oh, hold on. I see a pin from my bestie, Miss Mia LaBelle, said, "Hey, y'all, checking in between the teams. Oh, she working and checking in with us. Welcome, welcome. Rolling out the red carpet for you, boo. Welcome, our honorary cousin. And I see Just Danielle 365 says that is deep. And she said this when Tina was talking. Enabling is real. And sometimes it's as simple as I could, but I don't want to. In every situation, there's going to be someone uncomfortable. It will not always be me. It is okay to say no. I know that's right. And then she said, word, deliverance is available from that people pleasing. It certainly is. It certainly is. Um, you know, if I were to answer the question, when did I first realize that my personal values were different from what my family expected? I was a kid. I realized it because I was called a crybaby. I was called too sensitive. I was called a wimp, weasel, all kind of little wild names. I come from two military parents, so you know, rest their souls. They were a little rough with the words, and because I was always in my feelings as a child in a family culture that really did not do feelings, I learned early in life that I actually cared about feelings and still do to this day, right? It might have influenced why I've gone in the direction that I've gone in with the kind of work that I do. Um, but yeah, I learned early in life that I valued something a little bit different. Like I could march with the rest of the soldiers, but my march was just a little bit different. Simply Shayla says, well, that's not a bad thing. I don't think it is at all. I don't think it is at all. I think it's become a
Mhm.
superpower. Okay. I got another question for y'all. Wait, Tina, you want to put the link in the chat if somebody else wants to pull up a chair? This is an open panel discussion. We would love to hear from our honorary cousins. If you want to come on up here and talk with us, we would love to have you.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, thank you, Antonice.
That is me.
Thank you. Thank you, Antotina.
Yeah.
Oh,
Excellent conversation, ladies. Tipping out the back with my finger up will run back the replay. Greatly appreciate your presence for however long that you stay, because we know
I
this is
know that's right.
late night hours, and you got a whole job, and cheering and everything that you got to, and husbands and stuff. I mean,
All
husband.
that.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get drop that s. But we're so glad that you
Okay.
decided to hang out with us. She
You
the
thought you
wife
was
of
talking
one
to me.
husband. Hello.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. I know,
Always a
right?
pleasure.
I'm always up around this time often. I know, right? I know these
Apparently,
my
so are
hours.
we.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I got another question for y'all.
Hmm.
And is there anybody else waiting in the room, Tina?
No, I don't see
Okay.
anyone.
Okay, we're good. Okay. What does having a backbone actually look like when it comes to family relationships? What does
Should
having
I
a
ask Anthony?
backbone? You sure can.
Um, it means being willing to face the consequences.
Yep.
It means being willing to suffer loss. It means being willing to, for your reputation to lose a few cool points, for you not to be in quote unquote the good graces of some people, to not
Yep.
be as favorable to some people, um,
Yep. Yep.
and to be prepared to not have access to certain things or certain people or certain doors or have certain access because of that backbone.
Yeah. Everything you said.
Hmm.
Absolutely. The consequences, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and those consequences can feel really uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Miss Miss Yolanda, did you want to chime in on this one?
Um, for me, it's kind of being uh treated like the odd man out, so to speak. Like for me,
Mm.
growing up, my family was heavy in church. But for some reason, for me, I was always treated like she know the word, but she don't know the word. Just kind of like, you know, she don't know God like that. Her mom and it was in church. It was always
Mm.
I was always put down in regards to relationship with God because it may have been different than what they raised me in. And so I was always treated like the rebellious one, the prodigal child, you know what I'm saying? It was always everything was always negative. My relationship with God wasn't never good enough. So,
Mm.
um, those are the things that I constantly battled with. I remember a time that I was within like a women's program, the House of Ruth. I'll never forget. My dad was there, and he was like, "Yeah, she got a relationship with God, but she don't know the word all like that." It was always a put down. It seemed like no matter where I was, it was always a put down. I was never good enough. I could never be saved enough. I could never do the right things enough. So that was always the kickback with with my family, always.
Mm.
And it made it very difficult, even at my big grown age now. It's like I'll never be seen as good enough. I'll never have a relationship with God that's good enough for anybody. And sometimes I have to be careful because it tends to carry over. I feel like everybody will see me in life. Like I will never be good enough or saved enough or know the word enough for anybody. I will always be uh the lowest person on the totem pole in every area. It's something that I struggle with.
Mm. Well, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing that because those sorts of things are not always easy to express, especially publicly. We got some cousins in the chat who are responding, and I think we got a new cousin in the chat. Is that right, Tina?
That is
Mm.
right. Blue Star
Mm.
has entered the chat, has come in, and we're so glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. Greetings and salutations, and we just wanted to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins.
Hey, 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 cuz. Yes, yes. I mm,
Mm.
I
I
need to
need
tell
to
y'all.
tell y'all that I'm dating God. He only has a relationship with me. Mm,
Okay. I know that's right.
mm,
I love how this conversation is flowing, right? Because the question was, what does having a backbone actually look like when
mhm,
it comes to family relationships?
mm,
And um, I think for me, because I come from such a Christian family, right? And Tina was listing all the different denominations on her limb of the family tree, and then mine, we got the AMEs. I grew up New Testament holiness. I was in the
mhm,
Church of Christ for a while. I know you mentioned the Church of Christ, and I have, my auntie who is now My chosen mother, she is the first lady of a Baptist church, her husband's pastor. And so growing up very rooted in Christianity, and then around the age of 32, I think I was 32, 33, choosing to go in a different direction really
Hmm.
took a lot of backbone, because I was finding that my spiritual journey was taking me in a different direction, and it
Hmm.
wasn't it wasn't what I was used to in my family. And I remember how terrified I was. I went to visit my auntie, the one who's I only got one auntie, y'all. The one who's the first lady of the Baptist church. I was staying in the house with her and my uncle, the pastor. And I had told myself, I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her, right? Because at that time, I was really starting to do a lot of research and dig into my genealogy, and I really wanted to learn a lot more about African history and African spiritual systems.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting in her house, and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't want to tell her. I don't want to tell her. I don't want to tell her." And then I ended up telling her, and I was like, "Ah, Auntie, I'm not going to church anymore, and this is why." And I was so shook. I didn't know what she was going to say. Um, and and I didn't even think of it at the time as having a backbone. I'm looking back on it now, and I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was." Um, and she responded in a really humble way. She just said, "You know what, Jose, everybody's journey is different, and I can't tell you what to do with yours." Um, but that was probably one of the most terrifying conversations I had. And every time I had to talk to somebody new in the family, just the people who I felt the closest to, when I noticed that my spiritual journey was starting to be different,
Hmm.
um, that took a lot for me. And now, it's been years at this point, but I still find that it can be strange for me sometimes when I'm in family groups, and or we're having, there's some sort of church event, and I'm not at all like against people going to church, but sometimes, kind of like what Yolanda was saying, I can feel like the odd one out. I can feel like the weirdo. um, I have been called the rebel, and sometimes, I think sometimes the family looks at me and it just look like I just be doing shit. So that would be mine.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Um, Brick Family Fund said, I grew up Baptist, Pentecostal, and non denominational. When I stepped away from the Baptist church, I wasn't really saved to family anymore.
Okay. Did you see Simply Shayla's?
I grew up Pentecostal as well. My grandma was very strict, so growing in God, I see it's more than just trying to do what's right, a performance, but it takes time, and we're not perfect. Absolutely.
Hmm. And then she
Um,
also said, speaking up and not letting them pass with things they speak over you.
yes, yes. Ooh. And two, if I might add to that, not
Hmm.
ingesting what they're saying.
Not ingesting.
Because sometimes a person can say something to you and it's coming from a place of hurt. They feel alienated from you because you're making different choices,
Yep.
but sometimes they'll say something and that venom will hit and you'll begin to think those things about your own self. Maybe I'm not good enough for God, or maybe I'm
Hmm.
not good enough for this journey that I'm on to find out where I want to be as it pertains to life as a whole. And you'll feel
Hmm.
like you're worthless all because of them not finding worth in what you're pursuing.
Hmm. Hmm. Exactly.
Shayla said, when I made a mistake or didn't read my Bible, I always thought I was going to hell. It took God to show me I'm not.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think because Shayla said she grew up Pentecostal, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And I know I grew up in one of them fire and brimstone types of religions too, where I mean, you breathe wrong, and you about to fall fall into the depths of hell.
I think that my thing was because of my background starting out so early with um, first being introduced to my great grandmother and my paternal great grandmother and grandfather, my great grandfather being the pastor of several different churches in Mississippi, and his wife, of course, being the first lady, and going to attend their church as far back as I can remember when I was really little, when I was young, and he passed when I was younger, and it um, his passing had an impact on me where I didn't understand what he did, but I knew that I wanted to do what he did, which was
Mm,
minister. And this was something I knew when I was very, very, very young. And so it's one of those things that I think about later on that at some point I just remember not feeling like I was good enough for where I felt like I was being led to or called to. And sometimes it has to do with the fact that people have their own ideas about where they feel like you should be in life before you do certain things. On the other hand, they can feel like, oh, you wasting your time. You need to come on to be and get started here or in this area or that area. And I'm like, but I haven't done what I need to do in the backdrop of my life to be in the forefront. And so I always walked the tightrope of this dilemma of worthiness versus unworthiness. Um, Crossing
mm,
all my T's and dotting out every I. Um, as far as trying to do all I knew to do, just to fail and feel like I shouldn't be up here because I'm still failing. And I just remember how much of an impact all of those influences were, all those different churches, being exposed to
yep,
all those different denominations and religions,
yep,
and I just remember how everyone had this thing about rule keeping except for when it came to them. Oh, you
yep,
supposed to be at such and such every time the door open unless they got something they got to do or something or whatever. But now I'm being told, even if you sick, just come to church. If you got to get on the altar, with a cold. But when it's other people, oh, this such and such is the sick and shut in, they sick and they at home. And
mm,
I'm like, how come they can be excused for being at home but I'm not? And so the dichotomy of always feeling like I'm striving for something but never attaining. I'm trying to get to a place but I
mm,
haven't made it there yet. And so I feel like I should be in this space based on what I'm seeing in other people's lives. But at the same time, I don't feel like I should be in this place because I feel like I should be doing better in life. And I just remember carrying a lot of that until I came to a place where I was like, hold up, I need to know for myself. I need to
yep,
know that I know. And that essentially led me on the journey that I had, which was different from everyone else. And
yep,
and it wasn't easy because everybody was like,
mm-mm,
what's the harm in you? Because those who don't know, I came out of the church for quite a while where I was no longer ministering. I was no longer singing and all the things I knew how to do and playing. I did a lot as far as service was concerned. But the thing was, when I came away from everything, everybody was like, but you have all this talent, you have all this gifting. Why aren't you using it? It's going to waste and things that I'm like, but I need to be able, like scripture said, work out my own soul salvation with fear and trembling. I had to come to a place where I knew for myself that this is what I really wanted, that this is the life that I wanted to live, that I had to know what that life was going to look like and be able to count up the costs as it pertains to, am I willing to make the sacrifices, not according to what they say I should make, but if I know what's right, am I willing to do what's right? Um, and so, Too Real is in the building.
hey,
Yes.
I've been talking to you all night and you weren't even in here.
Wasn't even there. So glad that you decided to come in tonight. I just happened to look down and saw you with them hands. I'm like, I ain't put them up. So appreciate you. Just want to acknowledge you as our honorary cousin and greetings and salutations. Thanks for coming, showing up, and hanging out with us tonight.
And too real, just to let you know, tonight is an open panel. So if you would like to come up and join us, uh, you know, join our conversation, you are welcome.
By all means, come on in the room if you want to. Uh, But yeah, but like I was saying, it's one of those things where, and I don't have anything against the church because everybody has their own path. They got to figure out what they where they got to
Exactly.
go, what they have to do, and all of that. Because I don't want folks being like, "How you gonna be a minister and you talking against the church and that's what the blah blah blah." And and I'm like, "Look, shout it.
You never even
First of
said
all,
that.
I never even said nothing against anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I had to learn how to find out what path I wanted to go by being
Yep.
led and not just being told.
Yep.
And I think that that made a big difference in my life is finally come to a place where I had to say, no, I'm not singing. No, I'm not preaching. No, I'm not doing the Bible study. I'm not coming to that. I won't be there. What's the harm in it? No, it's going to harm me because it's going to get me off of the path that I'm on. And I have to
Yep.
have a clear head, a clear mind, and no influence in order for me to be prepared to hear from God for myself. And so, and that didn't mean that I just was completely by myself, alone out here, just me and the Bible walking down the street. It wasn't like that. There were people that were added to my life. There were people who was mentoring me. There were people that was discipling me. It's just that I wasn't going into a church building like others would do traditional church. And so there was a lot that I had to learn on the backside of things that helped me to for as far as making the baby steps of finding out who I am as it pertains to God and how I want to live my life now. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Simply Shayla says, I think with the church, they get so pushy and telling you got to do this and that. Like, I feel like instead of encouraging it, pushes them away, in my opinion. I always noticed that.
Yeah, sometimes it can be. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but that's why it's always good to get around some people who have some understanding. Um, and who will walk you through that hard place of finding out where you want to be. And everyone doesn't have to make every decision right now and at this moment. There are some mistakes you're going to make. There are some decisions that you're going to make that may not fit everyone else. It may be some things that today that you might be a part of that tomorrow may not fit you anymore. You know, um, and it's okay to have that discovery as long as you're in a place of safety where you don't feel like you're alone and you're losing your own marbles all because you're not attached to anyone and you've isolated yourself rather than just taking a moment to see, hey, is there anybody that could teach me on a level that I'm able to understand instead of just being preached at, or to in a way that does not give me the understanding that I really need.
And I think, Tina, that can show up in families in so many different ways, right? Like, even if we take a step away from religion and spirituality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just being talked at. Family
Mm-hmm.
culture can sometimes be its own religion
Mm-hmm.
because the family has a way of doing things that everybody's doing it and it is just considered right. And just because it's what we know to do as a family. And you can find yourself doing something different and now everybody's talking at you because now everybody seems to think that they know better than you where your life should be headed when they ain't never been where you going.
Mm-hmm.
I see Anthony's too real, so I'm trying to keep up with the cousins and talk to y'all.
Um, yeah, she said it. She experienced that. Who have a relationship and we'll show you. Yeah, yes, yes, and that's
Hmm.
in so many things too. Oh, Mama said traditional. That's the
Yep.
tradi- that's the tradition. About keeping ways that they feel like, oh, this is what we do. This is us. This is our identifying factors. And when you come
Hmm.
across that, like
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
granddaddy was in the military, grandson got to be in the son got to be in the military. And if
Yep.
son was in the military, grandson got to be in the military. And somebody got
Hmm.
one of the children at least got to be in the military, therefore they could keep the tradition, you know.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so it's that thing where it's like, okay, but what if I'm not built for that? What if
Mhm.
I have something else or somewhere else that I need to go because this is something that I heard I want to say earlier today or last night or yesterday one. I heard someone say, so many people got caught up in doing the things as the previous generation did it. But they were talking about jobs. He said what they ended up saying was, here it was, the jobs that people were telling me, oh, you need to go get this job, you need to go get this job, are now dried up, are now
Mm.
foreclosed on, are now shut down now. So the thing
Mm.
that used to help them to thrive back in the 50s and the 60s, there are no big warehouses and plants and stuff. General Motors ain't hiring everybody. Ford ain't hiring everybody like they used to back in the day when they was making the Model T. When everybody
Mhm.
was able to buy houses and drive cars and all that. It's not like that anymore. Matter of fact, the time when they was buying $75,000 houses and selling them for 2 million, the next
Mhm.
generation can't do that. Now we can't
Mhm.
even afford to get into the house because you selling it now at $2 million, where
Yep.
you didn't have to get it at that rate.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody's
Or
making $2 million to go buy a house for $2 million. And you had most of the time you got to be making more than $2 million to afford the $2 million house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
absolutely.
yeah. So I just take into consideration that when it comes to being willing to look beyond tradition to ask yourself, what am I good at? Where are my
Mhm.
strengths? Where do they lie? What do I really believe?
Yes.
What do I actually think? And can we
Mhm.
get to the bare bones of that so I can move forward? Kendi K all day is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. We want to acknowledge you as one of our honorary cousins, and we just want to know that we appreciate you and your presence as well.
Yes. Grab a plate, cuz we happy to have you.
Yes, indeed. Yolanda said, my mama was a nurse, so everyone thought I should be like I'm. Oh, wait, didn't read it right. My mama said I was a nurse, so everyone thought I should be. I'm like, nope, I want to take my own path. And
That
I get
part.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm. I feel better to know, though, Britt, that I'm not the alien out of the humans, LOL, when it comes to our relationship with God. No, no, none of us
Mhm.
are aliens in that experience. And there is so
Mhm.
much um, that we have to learn and so many things that we have to go through. And you're still young. I can only imagine what it's like, and I was learning some of the things that I was learning in my late 30s, well, in my early 30s, over into my 40s. There were things that I was learning. And so I think about that as it pertains to what is it like being in your 20s or in your teens or something, and you're coming into a place where, okay, I have all this that I've learned that I've started with, but now I feel the need or desire to break away from this because it's not working. It's not even working for them. I can see it not working for them. So, what is it that I need to do in order to be successful in my life? Whether that is a walk as it pertains to my faith, or whether that is in business, economics, or whether it be when I'm raising my own family. If I decide to marry and have children, what does that look like for me? Because not everything
Mhm.
can be passed on from generation to generation without it causing harm. Kenny K said it's a
Woo.
sad state of our economic economy when people are stuck in the cycle of renting and moving and never owning anything. Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. That's
indeed.
why that whole just go get a job at the warehouse or just go get a degree
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean much in this day and
Right.
age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm getting ready to ask a real question now
Uh-oh.
because we've started digging a little bit deeper. So
Okay.
I'm coming in a little maybe a little bit heavy.
Buckle up,
Also,
Buttercup.
buckle up, Buttercup. And if you just got here, welcome. Consider yourself an honorary cousin. We're happy to have you. This
Hmm.
is an open panel tonight. So,
Yes.
if you want to go ahead and squeeze your little juicy hips on this couch with us, or if you got a slender hip that you're going to squeeze in on the couch with us, feel free to come on up here on the stage and chat with us.
Who
I
said the
think we've
slender
got,
hip? I'm tickled.
you can't leave out the slender hips.
Yes.
Everybody don't got juicy hips.
You're right. Y-
So here is the question. What is one thing your family taught you that you had to unlearn as an adult? I'm going to ask it again. What is one thing your family taught you that you had to unlearn as an adult? Miss Britt, you wanna go first?
Uh, yeah, that I'm not
Mm,
less than because I didn't necessarily choose the same path that they thought that I should choose.
dope. That's a good thing to unlearn. Yeah, that wasn't nothing worth holding on to, no way.
No, not at all. Not at
Tina
all.
Mo,
hmm
what
I
you got?
had to unlearn saying yes when I should have said no, and
Mm,
saying no when I should have said yes.
mm.
Mean what I say and say what I mean.
Come on. And I see Simply Shayla in here. You want to pin hers?
Um, Hold on.
Stop
She
being.
said, "Stop being so nice to everyone. Doesn't matter who it is."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I got one. Mine. Again, buckle up.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is silence about things we shouldn't be silent about.
Mm,
I had to unlearn that. I have a
mm,
family that respects respectability, image,
mm-hmm.
skeletons piled up in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to unlearn that, and in such a way where, out of respect for YouTube, we've definitely had some creeps in the family,
Mm-hmm.
very inappropriate people with very inappropriate behaviors, and I've had to speak out and call out people by name
Mm-hmm.
for the creepy tendencies, and
Mm-hmm.
and that is definitely not the family culture.
Right. Ooh. Realizing your parents aren't always right.
Nice as always.
Lady O said, "Yes, absolutely. Learn to speak up and not sweep stuff under the rug."
Yep. No rug sweeping. No
Mm-mm.
rug sweeping.
My thing with being nice is always doing for people, even if it was small. Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes no need to be no.
That's it.
Mama Anthony speaking to you. Oh, yes, Mama J. That's so true. Our parents are just like us. Oh, which is something else too that I had not thought about, but I'm thinking about now because I've learned this over the years. I've learned to see my parents in a different light,
Mm,
meaning I refuse to carry the burden of offense all
come
my
on.
days. I
Yes.
refuse to carry offense the rest of my days. I have come to understand that everybody is not perfect, that what you knew at 18, you know better hopefully by 30, and what you know at 30, you it's different by the time you're 50. As you age, you find out and you learn that who you were is not who you're becoming. You're not born knowing everything,
Mm-mm.
nor do you know everything just because you didn't push the baby out or just because you didn't knock somebody up. Oh, all of a sudden you a daddy? Oh, you know everything. I know how to change the car, change the oil, change the tire, and change the diaper. No, yeah, and you also don't know how to talk to that kid.
Oops.
It's a lot of people that can build houses but can't build homes. because they don't know yet.
Mm.
They don't know
Mm.
yet. And
Mhm.
in some
Mhm.
instances, they didn't have the friendships or the community. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like what you were saying, sometimes the community was creepy. You couldn't even trust all of
Mhm.
everybody that was in, your presence. You know,
Mhm.
and so it would be one of those things of who are you learning from? Who did they learn from?
Mhm. Mhm.
Were they even there? Because there's a lot of people that made a bunch of money, but were absent. So who was teaching? If the kid had to learn on their own, what did they teach the other kid to learn it on their own? That's all they could pass down. That's all they
Yeah.
had to pass down. And so I had to
Mhm.
learn how to almost see my parents as the kid I needed to raise. Not
Yeah.
being demeaning, but in my older years, I noticed that 20 some year old baby, them didn't have the mindset that I have today in my great big old age of close to 75. And so I think about that. Don't chuckle. I think about that. I think about that as it pertains to the fact that they didn't know.
Yep.
They didn't know. And they had no way of knowing because some things that comes with you with maturity, you have to have even the right environment for that maturity to kick in.
Yep.
And what if they didn't have that? Maybe they didn't have community. What happens when the people grow up with no friends? Or the friends that they have weren't friends to them? What happens
Yep.
when your friends are slow or dumb or you got some kind of a mental impediment or something? What happens when the people around you don't have the ability to communicate to you what you need to know? Whether that's because of the way that you learn or it's because of the way they communicate. All you have with them is familiarity. We've been sitting here on the same couch for umpteen years together, and that's all
Yep.
you have is familiarity. I had to think about those things and be willing to say, if this was my child, because I'm old enough to have a 20 or 30 some year old now, but if this was my child, what would I tell them if they were a baby having a baby? You
Mm.
need forgiveness too. You made a mistake too. And life is going to be hard, but you're going to get through it. This does not mean it's the end of your life, but you got some hard lessons to learn. I would apply grace. I would extend love, forgiveness, hope. I didn't know that at first, but I do now. Age
Hmm.
doesn't always equal wisdom. It
Show
doesn't.
don't.
It doesn't.
I see. Yep.
I refuse to carry offense all the days, all my days. Yes, indeed. No, I don't want to. I
Mhm.
don't want to. I don't want to be eaten up on the inside because of what happened to me when I was little, or what happened to
Mhm.
me when I was a teenager, or what happened to me in my early 20s. I don't want to be upset about the fact of who didn't come to my rescue when my father passed when I was 16 years old. I don't want
Mhm.
to walk around remembering who was in my life and saying, you weren't there, and you weren't there, and you weren't there. I don't want to carry that
Mhm. Mhm.
for the rest of my life. I don't. I forgave. And when I need to, I forgive again.
Yep.
I have to be reminded to forgive again. Because sometimes it's a sting because something has opened up or I've gotten triggered by something. And I remember, the angst or, the whatever, and you weren't there, all that stuff comes up at times. But then it's the thing of, and when I get through ranting and raving, it's okay.
Yep.
I have to be able to forgive you because sometimes you really didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And even if you did know, you didn't know the extent of how it was going to affect me. So I have to let you off the hook.
And really let me off the hook.
Yep. Look at who's here. Abide Studio. So glad that you decided to hang out with us tonight. We appreciate you, appreciate your presence. Greetings and salutations. And we want to acknowledge you as an honorary cousin.
Hmm.
Abide Studio said, my mom has the financial and the educational literacy, but her discernment and depth lacks. I love her, but we teach each other. I make it a point to teach her. I seen this as a kid.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Brit Family Fun says healing is essential.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is.
Forgive you first. You deserve grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Forgiveness is for
forgiveness.
yourself,
Hmm.
not nobody else. Abide Studio
Facts.
says, seeing things she should have caught, and I'm a child. My boldness is so strong because I had to protect her from people's
Mm,
intentions. And she's just smiling and hugging.
okay. That sound like how you be describing me, cuz. Well, I feel like we made it where we was going, cuz.
We made it. We
Yeah.
survived.
Okay, let me do a quick check-in. From 1 to 10, how are cousins doing in the chat? Those of us who were able to stay awake, y'all okay? Y'all doing okay? 10 being, you know, good and ready to go to bed. One being you ain't gonna get no sleep tonight because we just stressed y'all out.
Simply Shayla says she's on 10. All right. I'll
Okay,
take
we
that.
love it. We love it.
Okay, she
Okay.
done upgraded. She up to a 9. She was a 6 at first. Uh-huh.
Oh, come on. Came
Yeah.
on up. Oh, we love an
Yeah.
improvement. We
Yeah.
love an improvement. Uh,
Absolutely.
I just want to mention some family business, some things we have coming up next Friday, or I guess it's this Friday, right? Because Sunday, beginning of the week. So Friday, I have an Instagram live. If you want to follow me on Instagram at the Black Love Permissionist, I go live with my friend and sister Joe. We have a live show called Relationships and Shit, and we talk about some unorthodox approaches to relationships. If you're interested in something a little bit different, feel free to
Wow.
join us at 8 p.m. At next Saturday, of course, we have at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Tina Mo for Show and Anthony's Too Real. They will be right here on YouTube for the intentionally random broadcast.
Thank you, because I always be trying to make it something else.
Okay, I got you. And then on, oh, go ahead, cuz.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and then 2 weeks from today,
Mm-hmm.
same time, same awesome channel, we will be here again. Bring another cousin with you. We will be
Yes.
here for two cousins, one couch. You know, this
Yes.
is something new. It's a passion project of ours. We really want to dig into family topics. I mean, Tina is my blood relative. You know, we ain't just
Yes.
calling each other cousins because it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
So please come back, join us at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Central Time for the next episode of Two Cousins, One Couch. What were you getting ready to say, Tina?
Similar Shannon that tickled me. She said, well, I got all my notifications on, so I get all the tea.
Oh,
Oh.
no, that's right.
Mhm.
I know that's right. You want to wrap us on up? Because,
Um,
oh, first of all,
yes.
again, I was acting like I didn't have home training again.
Mm-hmm.
Brit Family Fun, thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for pulling up a seat and sitting on this couch with us and being willing to share so openly, so beautifully, so vulnerably. And I'm just really appreciating that you were able to feel better after joining us on the couch because that is what we want. I assume that that fish plate with them Gouda grits did you right. And
Oh
so you
yeah.
are welcome. You are welcome to go ahead and get some rest. We got the bunk beds right there for you. You don't even have to travel far.
Thank you all for having me. I'm grateful again. I got over my nervousness and things, and feel better than I did when I started. So I appreciate you both.
Thank
Somebody's
you.
saying Gose in the chatments.
Yeah, they
Um,
over there with you somewhere.
I'm trying to think, is this 5759 TV? I'm not sure who this is. Is this Jeremy? If it is, hey, 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 I'm not actually sure, but welcome. We're getting ready to sign off. But please, as Tina would say, be kind and rewind. We would love it if you took some time to join our show on the other end. Oh, it is Jeremy. Everybody say hi to Jeremy. He's our honorary cousin, but we are getting out of here. You know, it's always that cousin that want to show up late. The food already wrapped up in the aluminum foil. So I mean, you gonna have to get a to-go plate, my guy.
Yes, indeed. Just with the last, putting the last touches on this discussion, sometimes you have to be willing to take courage, to be encouraged, to be courageous. Sometimes it's going to take you facing who you are in the mirror and understanding that you're strong enough for your no's, you're strong enough for your yeses, you're strong enough for the not right now, and you're strong enough for the today. We have to make decisions all the time that ruffle people's feathers.
Hmm.
And we always have to come to a place where we're willing to say, if I perish, I perish. If that means that this person won't talk to me anymore, if this means that I won't have access to the things that I used to have access to, if it means that I'll be uncomfortable, I'm willing to be integral with me.
Hmm.
Be willing to tell yourself the truth. And as you tell yourself the truth, you'll be able to share that truth with others. Live authentically, and you'll find yourself in a happier space, in a space with peace, in a space where you're able to have growth. And growth always leads to expansion, and expansion always leads to more. That's all I got.
I think that's a beautiful ending. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you in just a couple weeks.
Bye.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.